In the name of Allah, the most gracious and most merciful, today we are going to talk about narrative. With you, Mr. Muhammad Hosni, from Muhammad bin Abdullah Independent Secondary School for Boys. We are going to speak about narrative. What the meaning of narrative? Narrative means to narrate. What the meaning of narrate? Narrate means to tell a story. Okay? Tell a story. When I speak about story, the first thing come in front of me, the elements of the story. Today we are going to speak about the elements of the story. As you can see, we have here this diagram about a rectangle. First of all, we have introduction, then we come up with the events, we have rising action, and then we come to the top of this pyramid, which is called climax. Then we goes down or coming down to the falling action, resolution, and the whole this called plot. Plot means the structure of the thing. Okay? First of all, question number one. The space is the part of the story where the conflict begins to resolve itself. As you can see, part of the story, okay, where the story begins to resolve itself. Who can tell me about this answer? Try to think. Yes, that's right. This is called rising or falling action. This is called falling action. This is called falling action. When the story begins to resolve itself. This will be number one. Number four, falling action. Okay? Next. Number two, the space at the beginning. When I speak about the beginning, it comes to my mind. Introduction. Introduction means the beginning. When you find the word beginning, it means introduction. It comes in the first of the story where the characters and the setting are revealed. This is the introduction. Okay? Introduction will be number one. Here will be number four. Number three, the end of the story where the outcome of the conflict is suggested or revealed. Number three, again, the end. When I speak about the end, it comes to my mind resolution. Resolution comes at the end. Okay? Next question. The space, the structure of the story, a logical planned sequence of events having beginning, middle, and an end. Where all the elements of the story formed, okay, this is called what? Number four, this is called the plot. Plot. Number four. Again, the structure of the story. The whole structure of the story is called the plot. Next number. Number five. The space is part of the story where the events states or starts becoming complicated and the conflict is revealed. Again, the part of the story where the events starts becoming complicated. Complicated means come together. Okay? This is called rising action. This is called rising action. Number two. Okay? This will be number one here, introduction. Number two, rising action. Number one, introduction, rising action, and so on. Number six, the last one, is the turning point in the story, is part of the story with the highest point of interest. Highest point of the story. It comes here. Highest point means climax. Climax will be number three. Okay? So, number one, falling action. Number two, introduction. Number three, resolution. Number four, plot. Number five, rising action. And number six is the climax. Okay? Now we are going to move to another thing about narrative. When I speak about narrative, I'm going to give you an example about narrative. This is the paper in the exam is going to be about. The first thing is exposition. We have here in this exposition, we have something called setting. What the meaning of setting? Setting speaks about time and place. Setting speaks about time and place. Time we can say when the story takes place, and setting about place we speak about where this story taking place. This is called the setting, okay? Here we have the setting called about when and where. The other thing of exposition, we have characters. Characters. We have main characters and sub-characters, okay? Again, we have introduction, setting. Setting contains two questions, when and where. The other part of the setting called characters. We have main characters and sub-characters. Now we are going to speak about the body of the narrative. We have event 1, event 2, and event 3. What the meaning of event? Event means the things that happening in the story. When I speak, for example, about someone who starts to work, this will be event 1. And then he have some problems. He have problems with his mother or his family. This is event 2. And event 3, when he resolve all these problems. The last part will be conclusion. The other part or the last part will be conclusion. As we said before, conclusion is resolution when the story ends. Okay? Now we are going to speak about figurative language. When you are going to speak about narrative, we have something called figurative language. What the meaning of figurative language? Figurative language, simile, metaphor, personification, and alliteration. Okay, next slide. Figurative language. The opposite of literal language is figurative language. Figurative language is the language that means more than what it say on the surface. Another example or another definition. It usually gives us a feeling about the subject. A feeling about the subject. Okay? What is figurative language? Figurative language, whenever you describe something by comparing it with something else, you are using figurative language. It's still not clear. I'm going to show you more. Here are the types of figurative language. Simile, metaphor, personification, alliteration, onomatopoeia, hyperbole, imagery, and idioms. We are going to speak about simile, metaphor, personification, alliteration, onomatopoeia, and hyperbole. This, we are not going to speak about them, okay? First one, simile. What the meaning of simile? Simile is a direct comparison between two unlike things, or a way of describing something by comparing it to something else, usually using the words like or as. Be careful of these two words, like or as. We use it in a simile. Like or as, we use them in a simile. Okay? Examples. Picture number 1. I am hungry as a horse. Watch this. As. This is called simile. As means like. I am hungry as a horse. He means that he is very, very, very hungry as a horse. This is called simile. Another picture. You run like a rabbit. You run like a rabbit. What's the meaning of run? Run means move quickly. Like a rabbit, as this picture. This is called simile, of course. Again, if we use as and like, this is called simile. Another word. She is happy as a puppet. She is happy as a puppet. This is a puppet and she is happy as a puppet. This is called simile. We use as in the sentence. This is called simile. The last sentence, he is sneaky as a snake. Sneaky means coming like that way you can't catch it. He is sneaky as a snake. This is called also simile. Why? We use simile when we use as or like. This is called simile. This is one of the figurative language. Okay? The next slide. The next slide is called metaphor. What is the meaning of metaphor? Metaphor is a way of describing something by comparing it to something else. Implied comparison between two unlike things. When we speak about two unlike things, this is called metaphor. Let's take some examples about metaphor. Here is the first picture. The road was a ribbon rapid through the desert, means going that way. This is called metaphor. Through the desert, the road was ribbon rapid. The other picture, the clown was a feather floating away. Feather. Feather floating away. Feather here means something with the birds, to fly. Okay? So it is called metaphor. Another thing of figurative language, we have something called personification. As you can see, it comes from the word person. What does person mean? Person means a man or a woman, person, okay? Personification, personification, okay? It gives the human characteristics to something that is not human. When I speak about something not human and I stick a personification to him. Example like animals, objects, or ideas. Let's take examples about personification. The flowers danced in the wind. The flower danced in the wind. This is called personification. What the meaning of dancing? Dancing means someone to dance. But the flowers here is it, okay? It or they. This is not a person, but dance is an adjective from person. In the wind. The flower danced in the wind. Okay? This is dance, human, and this is non-human. This is called what? Personification. Excellent. The other picture, the friendly gates welcomed us. The friendly gates welcomed us. Friendly. What the meaning of friendly? It comes from the word friend. And the gate, this is called a gate. the door, welcomed us. It means it opened automatically. This is called non-human and friendly human. This is called personification, okay? The third picture, as you can see, this is a wind. The hurricane's winds are yelling while blowing outside my wind. The hurricane's winds are yelling while blowing outside the wind. Yelling means it speaks aloud. Yelling. This is means that the wind is very strong. Okay? This is called what? Personification. Excellent. Let's move to another. Alliteration. What the meaning of alliteration? Alliteration means repetition of the first construct sound at the beginning of words. Again, alliteration means repetition. What the meaning of repetition? More than one time. Repetition of the first construct sound at the beginning of the words. At the beginning. Let's take an example. Alliteration. When the first sound in words repeated. Example. Peter, Piper, pigged, pickled, pepper. Okay, this is called alliteration. It comes at the first of the words. This is called alliteration. Okay, we, lark, lake. This is called also alliteration. Okay. Now let's go to hyperbole. What the meaning of hyperbole? Hyperbole means exaggeration. What the meaning of exaggeration? An exaggerated statement used to heighten. Heighten means rise or going up. Effect, it's not used to mislead the reader, but to emphasize a point. Example, she said so on several million occasions. What the meaning of several millions occasions? Several means more than one time. Million, of course, we know all million. She said so. She said so several million occasions. Of course, she is not going to say so in several million occasions. This is called exaggeration. Exaggeration means to go to the height. Okay, this is called exaggeration. Let's go to another thing about narrative. Here we are going to take an example about narrative reading. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit, try to read this passage about the bus driver, and then we are going to discuss the question about it. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 minutes. Try to read this passage about the bus driver. It's called narrative, okay? The bus driver. I'm going to read it to simplify the words to you. Dana Miller is a bus driver. She drives a bus to the city of Philadelphia. She works the night shift, okay? That means she starts work at 10 at night and gets off at 6 in the morning. In the world of bus driving, this is something called third shift, okay? Dana has been driving a bus for 15 years. She started when she was 23 years old. She loves her job most of the time. She gets to see the beautiful city from her seat. She gets to meet all kinds of people. There is the guitar player, okay? Next paragraph, paragraph number 2. He loves the heavy guitar on the bus every Friday night. He plays at the night spot downtown. People call him Get Low. That's because he likes to play the guitar on his knees. Plays the guitar like that, on his knees. Okay? If the bus is not too crowded, Get Low plays In the back of the bus is seldom crowded at night. He likes to warm up on the bus before shows. There is the woman who works at the pretzel factory. Paragraph number 3. Each day the pretzel lady brings Dana a bag of fresh, soft pretzels. They fill the bus with a wonderful smell. Sometimes Dana's job is hard. It's hard when Dana sees people down on their luck. On time, young woman left her sleeping baby on the bus. There was a note on the baby's blanket asking for help. Okay? Dana had to call the police. Another time, a teenage boy stole money from Dana's on the bus and ran as a poet. Watch this. Ran as a poet. Okay? Remember, we spoke about what? Simile. He ran as a poet. Excellent. Let's go. He had a fake gun. Dana thought it was real. She was very scared. Number 4. Occasionally driving the bus can be scary, but most of the time driving the bus is great. Dana doesn't want to work anywhere else. How was your night? Dana's husband likes to ask when she gets home. Good music, good food, and a great view of the city, she says. Okay? Here we have a narrative story. Okay? Here we have a narrative story. Be sure that you have understood what we have said before. We are going to answer some questions about narrative story concerning what we have said before. Let's go to question number 1. Question number 1. Where is the story set? Remember set. We spoke about setting. We spoke about where and when. But now, where? So we are speaking about place. Where is the story set? Around Philadelphia, to the police station, to pick up a guitar player, to pick up school children. Where? It's around Philadelphia. That's right. Okay? Here we are asking about a place. Where? So we are going to speak about place. That's right. Around Philadelphia. Next question. From which point of view is the second paragraph told? From which point of view is the second paragraph told? First person point of view, second person point of view, third person point of view. If I speak about first person, I will speak with I. Okay? If I speak about the second person, I speak about you or we. How about third person? Remember from our last lesson, it will be he or she. When the narrator says he or she, this will be the third person point of view. Third person point of view. Okay? Let's move to question number 3. Here is an important question. It says, read the following sentence from the third paragraph. We are not going to go back to the third paragraph, but try to think. So I wrote it here in a table and says, he had a fake gun. Dana thought it was real. Okay? What does he want from this question? He says, what does the underlined pronoun refer to? This is the underlined pronoun. Underline. Okay? He had a fake gun. Dana thought it was real. Who had this fake gun? I am a woman, a teenage boy, a sleeping baby, a fake gun. Try to think. Sleeping baby? No, of course not. It will be a teenage boy. That's right. It will be number B. A teenage boy, because here we have he. If we speak about I am woman, I'll say she. Okay? But now I'm speaking about a man. So a teenage boy means he had a fake gun. Okay? Next question, question number 4. Read the following sentence from the 4th paragraph. Occasionally, driving the bus can be scary. Occasionally. What the meaning of occasionally? It comes from the word occasion. Occasion means, what does the underlying word mean? Occasionally. Irregularly, incorrectly, innocently, aggressively. It will be irregularly. That's right. Irregularly means not regular. The opposite of regular, irregular. It means comes a little. Okay? Not in a sequence way, irregularly. Here we have occasionally, it means irregularly. Now, that question about the pyramids. Do you remember it? The question about the pyramid. Can you see this mark? This mark comes where? At the first, or at the beginning, or at the top, or on the mountain peak. The mountain means mountain. The peak, the top of the mountain, the top of the events, the top of the rectangular, the top of the pyramid. This is called what? Climax. Remember, in which part of the story does the event reach that point? Here we are going to speak about what? Climax. As we said before, climax. Okay? When the climax in this story happened, we are going to read the distractor. When a young woman left her sleeping baby on the bus, when a teenage boy stole money from Dana on the bus, when the guitar player plays music on the bus, when Dana Miller starts work at 10 o'clock on the bus. I'm speaking about the climax, and then the events are going to go down. I want you to think. When the young woman left her sleeping baby on the bus, and when the teenage boy stole money from Dana on the bus. That's right, it will be number B. When a teenage boy stole money from Dana on the bus, and then they stopped the bus and called the police and so on, and this is called falling action, coming down. But now we are speaking about the climax. This is when a teenage boy stole the money from Dana on the bus. That's right. Let's move to question number 6. And the last question about narrative. A teenage boy stole money from Dana on the bus and ran as a bullet. Again, read the following sentence from the 3rd paragraph. A teenage boy stole money from Dana on the bus and ran as a bullet. Remember, as or like. This is, we spoke about it in figurative language. We spoke about what? Personification, alliteration, onomatopoeia, or simile? Simile, that's right. It will be number D. Simile. As. Now, our lesson about narrative is end. Okay? I'd like you to revise as much as you can narrative techniques, figurative language, elements of the story, and good luck with my best wishes, and thank you all for listening to me about narrative technique. Thank you.